Well, hello there. Welcome to this edition of By No Means a Chef. I'm your host, Monique, and this week we are making corn fritters. So my inspiration for this week came from Martha Stewart. I was on the couch slumming and watching a local station here, and she came on and she made these what look like so delicious corn fritters. So I'm looking like, okay, that looks super easy, super delicious, and looks like something I can do. So here we are. So just to do a rundown of the ingredients, we're going to start off with vegetable oil. We have milk, eggs, salt, regular white sugar, flour, cornmeal. We have corn. Of course, Miss Martha used fresh cut corn off the cob. We're not doing any of that. We're just going to use some frozen kernels. Have green onions, butter, and then this is where the twist is going to come in for my recipe. So I want to do two batches. I'm going to do one with some turkey bacon bits and then one with bacon, regular pork bacon bits. And then we're going to add a little cheese in it to see what that tastes like. So those are our ingredients. Let's get cooking. Okay, so we're back and now it's time to combine all of our ingredients. So I spared you the time of watching me measure out all of the ingredients. I don't cook like mama and them, grandmama and them, you know, where they just take a handful of this and a little dash of that. I'm a straight measuring cup type of chick. So figured you didn't want to see me do all of that. But in short, what we have here in the big bowl are all of our dry ingredients. So we have your cornmeal, we have the flour, the sugar, and the salt all combined here. And then in here we have the milk and the eggs, and it's 2 eggs and mixed in with the milk. For all of the exact measurements, you can go to the website, www.bynomeansachef.com, and click on the printable recipe page. You can print that out and you have all of the exact measurements that I'm using for the recipe today. Before I go any further, let me tell you what I did also was I put a pot of vegetable oil on the stove. I think the recipe calls for it to heat to 350. I don't have a cooking thermometer, so we're just gonna hope that it's hot enough. Anyway, so I put that on, and you just need enough oil so that when you go to put the batter in the oil, it has enough room to float. So that's back there getting hot. Back to the ingredients. So we have your dry ingredients, your wet ingredients. We also have half a stick of butter that was melted. So we're gonna add that into our ingredients as well. And then again, my little twist on this whole recipe is where we'll get into a little bit later, the bacon bits, as well as the green onions. That was something that I'm adding in here too, so we'll see what it tastes like. Anywho, so we're gonna go ahead now and mix in our wet ingredients. I beat the eggs and the milk together just a little. So we'll mix those together. Oops. Anyway, so stir that up and so that it's nice and evenly mixed. And then while we're doing that, we're also going to go ahead and pour in our melted butter. Now the batter for this, as you can imagine, is going to be fairly thick with the, with the cornmeal and the flour. So don't go looking for some big soupy batter. It's going to be kind of thick because we're going to need to be able to form it in like a little ball to pop into the hot grease. So basically what it's going to look like is that. Looks like cake mix, kind of, a little bit more coarse. But once everything is good and mixed together, then you can go ahead and add whatever extra ingredients that you want to. And actually I said extra, we better add one of the main ingredients, which is our corn. How about that? So as I mentioned before, I'm just using the frozen corn. Again, look in on the recipe page for the exact measurements. And I think I've measured this out beforehand, so we should be pretty good to use most of that. And we're going to mix that all together. And remember, I'm making 2 batches of these. And the reason I'm doing that is that I have a couple of friends that I want to have to try this recipe, but I know that they don't eat pork, so I'm making the turkey bacon bit version for them, as well as myself. I like turkey bacon too, so I have that all mixed up. Here is where I am going to split my batter so that I can put, again, the turkey in one and the pork in the other. So I have those 2 split. Put that to the side for now. So first, let's try regular old bacon. So I'm going to put in, all right, I'm about to get my big mama on, so I'm just going to do a handful of this. I'm not going to measure this. So Put in a handful of the bacon bits in there. We're gonna sprinkle in some of our our green onions. What I did with these is just basically chop them up as fine as I could get them. So we're gonna put in some of that. And then our cheese. Grab a handful of the cheese. Oh, this onion smells so good. So we're gonna add in some of our cheese. And then just mix it. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this, and I will be right back to show you how we pop it in the hot grease and see what our finished product looks like. So, be back in a second. Okay, so now we're at the stove and we're ready to go ahead and put our batter into the hot grease. I do have to admit one thing to you. As the name of this show says, I am by no means a chef, and anybody that knows me knows that I will admit that any chance that I get. So, you know, at the beginning I talked about, oh, how I don't have this thermometer and I need to, you know, just kind of eyeball the grease. Well, guess what? That's an important thing, and I'm going out to get one tomorrow, believe it or not. So one of the things that I learned though is if your grease is too hot, the outside of your fritter can get toasted, but then you open it up and the inside isn't done all the way yet. So for me, that's going to be a really, really key investment. So like I said, I'm going to be going out tomorrow to pick up one. So just kind of keep that in mind. I guess that temperature 350 degrees is very, very important. So we're going to go ahead. I've let the grease cool down some. Trust me, I've gone through about 10 of them before I hit play back on the recorder. So we should be okay right about now. So here we go. So one of the things that Miss Martha did recommend is that you use an ice cream scoop. So you want to get like a little ball. My particular ice cream scoop is fairly large. I don't want to fill up the whole thing, so I'm probably going to just do maybe a little bit, about half of the ice cream scoop. And then you just put it in the grease. Doesn't take long at all for it to start getting toasty brown. And again, that's where that temperature comes into play. So you put it in the grease and you'll see them start to float just a little bit and start to get brown. Give me a second, I'll lift up the camera so you guys can see the action going on inside the pot. So that's basically what it's going to look like as it's cooking in there. And I'd probably say it takes about maybe 4 minutes or so, if that, for them to actually cook. I'm going to use just a regular old handheld strainer just to kind of fish them out when they're ready. Okay, so now our fritters are all floating on the top and they're nice golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and take them out, and hopefully they're done on the inside. You're probably going to have to play with this a little bit just so that, you know, depending on the temperature of your grease, you can make sure that it's hot enough. Make sure it's not too hot, that your outside is cooking faster than your inside. But there are 2 of them, as you can see, nice and golden brown. I'm going to put the pot to the side and cook the rest of them later, so we can just go ahead on with the show. But there is your finished product. Nice golden brown little fritters. Okay guys, we have our finished product here. Our corn fritters. Yummy! Can't wait to taste them. So, I'm going to drizzle syrup on mine. You can also use honey. Of course, you can also have it plain if you like. Powdered sugar might be pretty good on it as well. So, I, though, am going to take some regular old pancake syrup and drizzle it on it and see how it tastes. So good. First and foremost, it's all the way done. That's an important thing. Our frozen corn is cooked. Our batter is cooked thoroughly. And this one here is a bacon one, so it has the green peppers that green onions that I put in it. Very, very good, very tasty. This will make a good appetizer. Shoot, it's so sweet, it can make a good dessert too. Anyway, try it out. Shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Facebook. Let me know how it works out for you. I thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget to visit the website, www.bynomeansaChef.com, where we have some other great recipes as well. Again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.